This is common in most African businesses. You just want to get out of poverty. You just want to start making money to solve one or two financial issues. And because of this, we don't know how to scale business the way it should be. By grace and by the privilege, our daddy is in the house. Please, a round of applause for him. He has really been a good father to me. Honestly speaking, he's the first person that I'm that close to as far as pastor is concerned. Working across these years, I've seen so many things in church. We discovered that most of the issues that make people come to church every day, every time is money issue. Some can go on a straight 21-day fasting and prayer just because they are having a particular financial issue. And the truth of the matter is, money is just a reward for solving a problem. If you don't understand that, you can spend your years in church praying, fasting, and without any results. Don't be deceived. Fasting and prayer is good. I fast and I do pray. But you pray as if you have never worked, and you work to find solution for somebody, to solve a problem as if you have never prayed. So I'm going to go through my slide. I don't know if we can see it from the TV screen here. So I'm going to start something. We're going to all read this together. This will be my starting point. The book of Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 27 says, develop your business first before you build your house. One of the things that I've seen across all ages is that when we start making money, the first thing we think is, I want to build a house. But this is the scripture, this New Living Translation. The New Living Translation make it so clear than the KJV version. Say, develop your business first before building your house. And as far as the tribe we have in Africa, in Nigeria is concerned, it is only the Igbo people that understand this structure. You will never see an Igbo man that is starting a business and is in its foundation state and will be thinking of building a house. They will first make sure that the business turns into millions, if not hundreds of millions, before they start thinking of building a house. Because the amount you are going to spend when you are building a house might drain that business. So, when you encourage people in church today that, oh, go and start a business, there is this common philosophy. It's a core philosophy that limits a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of talented individuals who are supposed to own businesses across Africa. They have this philosophy. The first one is, where will I get the money? You all see that across all ages. Oh, when you see a young entrepreneur, or you see a student and say, why don't you have this talent, why don't you start a business around and say, where will I get money? Money is not the first thing when it comes to business. The day our mindset shift from looking for money to start a business is the first day that we get the freedom that is required to be a global entrepreneur. The second mind is, if I build it, they will come. This happened to a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of talented people who have really discovered themselves, and they have started one thing or the other. That, oh, if I build it, they will come. When I'm in my first 5 years of business, this thing is one of the things that I also believe, oh, let me just keep developing my skill, let me keep developing my talents without, with that mindset that, oh, when I build my skill, when I have the best products, people will come. But there is something that you will see in the entrepreneur world today. Best known usually beats the best product. The might of if I build it has really caged a lot of businesses, and they could not go beyond this corner business. And the reality of it is, before you build a business, before you start an entrepreneur journey, the first thing you need is you need a structure to hold the business. I learned from our daddy, he said, structure is the first thing. I think I saw a portrait in his living room. That portrait is there. I think it was from Bishop Oyedepo. I snapped it on my phone. Say, you need a structure. Until you put structure in place. When I realized this has taken me almost a decade or more before I realized this mistake. It's not that I'm not making money, but there is a level at which you should be able to make money as a business, especially if you are talented. And this happened to some of us who are starting with a skill. You have a skill, you have a test skill, you are a plumber. That's why we cannot see a skilled individual going higher, because there is no structure. That's why all these handwork people, you call them today, I'm coming, I'm on my way. You won't see them the next 2-3 days. Especially if you are giving them money. Because hundreds of people like you are looking for them. And there is no structure that holds a number of people together that say, you know what, we have this work today, you go there, we are sending our team. Structure is the first thing. And there's this might about a lot of people again that, I need to just get a way of start selling. If you don't put structure in place and you learn how to sell, the business will grow to a stage that you will no longer be able to take care of all your customers. And that's where the problem comes. There's another level of problem now. If you grow a business by getting customers, the business will collapse if you don't have a structure. So you need a structure to hold the business. You need value to keep the clients, and you also need sales to fund the growth. We need to create a self-sustaining loop where selling generates revenue to improve value and structure. That's the goal of every business that will stand the test of time. So revenue is what we call the oxygen of every business, and without sales, you cannot validate the value you have or build your structure. So all these three things, they are the three core philosophy that do what? That engender a business that will stand the test of time. So I'm going to take it one after the other. I call it the three pillars of a successful business. The first one is the pillar of selling. You might have the best product. There's one of my books that I call it Selling Secrets, which really focus more on how to sell. How to sell, the perspectives you should have about selling. I was with my friend on Thursday, and I was asking him about some of his stuff, and he has said, well, some of them are reluctant when it comes to selling. They don't want to do anything. And I said, if I had known what it takes to start a business, the first thing that I'm going to learn will be what? I will learn how to sell. How to sell. So selling is the what I call the first pillar. But before you go into selling, because some of us are already in business now, some of us have one or two things that we sell, and the complaint has always been that the market is not coming. We want more sales. Then we need to do something about it. There are two ways we can do things about it. The first one is learn how to sell to everybody you meet every day. Say something about your business. Tell them how you can add value. And the thing about it is this: there's a strategy around that. And the thing is, try to ask about them first. Don't just meet people and start discussing about your business. They won't give you their attention. There's this Pareto principle, the 80% rule. Most of the time, you will have to use 80% of your time that you are spending with a person to ask about them, ask about their family, ask about their challenges. Then if your products or your services can solve that problem, then the remaining 20% of your time, you will use it to do what? That's the way you can get people's attention. It's like you have a similar example I can give is the doctor's framework. When you go to an hospital, the doctor will first diagnose your problem. You are having an headache. Okay, what other symptoms do you have? Okay, what other symptoms do you have? Then they will prescribe. You diagnose first, then you do what? You prescribe. A lot of the time, you might not have that product or services that can solve that person's problem. But you might have a friend or somebody who is also a business owner who has that product or services. Say, okay, I don't have this, but I can get it for you. Of course, you make your money from it. You have solved a problem. And when people begin to come with a similar problem, and the funniest thing is this, people don't really care if you get the solution somewhere else for them. In as much as the solution is solving their problem, they become your referral. They say, okay, reach out to this person. When I have a similar issue, he was the one that helped me to solve it. And you know what? By the time you begin to study, this pattern has been coming over and over again, you have another business. You have another business. Many of us, when we go to different places, maybe Lagos or thereabouts, we don't want to drive, we opt in for Uber. But do we know the story behind Uber? Uber started as a business because a guy stepped out of an estate and he was looking for a cab. He has spent more time beyond expectation on the spot. And I said, if I'm facing this issue, hundreds or thousands of people are having a similar issue. So he came up with an idea that I'm going to build a solution to solve this issue. So that is how to generate business idea. Many of us are, which business am I going to do? Look at a problem you are facing. Study the pattern. You will see hundreds of people around you are facing a similar issue. You have a business. So when I started as a software engineer, web developer, and all of that. But over time, I discovered a pattern. And the pattern is when I meet CEOs, I discovered that there's no structure. Okay. There's no team building. There's no sales. Okay, what am I going to do? I hopped in for training. So I studied the pattern, I learned. At some stage in the process of my learning, I said, no, I have to start another company. I think I registered about 2 or 3 different companies. Sometimes your first business will be a pointer to where you are actually going to get your finance. That's why we need to do is think outside the box. Everything is not prayer. Everything is not. Sometimes, most of I don't know, maybe we don't read our Bible the way we should read it. We quote scriptures, unto him who is able to do exceedingly and abundantly, much more than we can never ask. There are 2 words there, ask or think. A lot of the time, so many people are not thinking the way they should. And that's the problem. That's the problem. When you ask a young school leaver that, there's an opportunity out there, maybe there's a selling opportunity, learn how to sell, and they say, no, I can't do the job. And selling is one of the best things you can learn how to do. If you learn how to sell and you know how to build, you will be unstoppable. If you know how to sell and you know how to build, either it's in leadership, you know how to bring people together and help them, irrespective of their differences, to work together to produce a result, you will be unstoppable. Selling is not what? It's not pushing. It is a service. That's one of the minds that a lot of people don't understand selling. Because people don't understand. Sometimes I engage most of the people who are into selling. When I meet them on the road, I engage them and try to learn to know if they really understand what they are doing. Some of them at some point, they will start begging you that, please buy this thing. If you don't buy, my family will know. I said, no. That's not this. You don't force people to buy. Selling is a service. And it's what? It's not pushing. I've said this. I said, selling is the heart of diagnosing a problem and offering a solution that fits. The thing is, There are businesses out there who are looking for people to solve their problem. And I've studied that this pattern exists a lot. There are so many people who want to work, they only want to work for money. They don't want to work to learn. So selling is the heart of diagnosing a problem and offering a solution that fits. I heard a story about Microsoft, about Bill Gates rather. That was one of his products, Microsoft Word. I didn't confirm the story, but I know there's always an element of truth in every story. That the guy that is building Microsoft Office Word is a business owner. He owns the software. He's only being paid a percentage for building that software. So all his job is to do what? Make sure that this software works. Make sure that it meets new trend. Sometimes we don't need to start a business. We can be an entrepreneur in a company. You see, trainings like this are not just a training of maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. Because I know as time goes on, there will be an entrepreneur class in this church that we can keep training people on how to do business. So the mindset shift when it comes to selling is you have to move from convincing people to help them solve a problem. If I'm buying something from you today and if it doesn't solve a problem, I'm not going to come back. And a lot of the time, I said that in my book, Selling Secret, a lot of the time, because you have helped somebody to solve a problem, it becomes your referral. And people don't refer because they are doing you a favor. They refer you because they want to boost their ego, as if they have the best contacts. And that's why people refer. So if your product is not, if you beg your customer to please refer you, they will not refer you because it has not even solved a problem for them. So it must be towards help people. So the 3 questions that every sales must answer, I said it, there are 3 core that agenda the growth of every business: the sales strategy, the structure, and what. What's the third one? Sorry? I've not mentioned this. So the 3 questions every sales must address is the pain. What is your pain? What pain is that thing you are selling? I'm holding a mic today, solving a pain of me stressing my voice before everybody in the room can hear me. This thing is network now. People can see my screen. It's solving a problem. You don't need to stress yourself to come and look at the system in front of me. So every product or every services, we need to understand that a lot of the time when I see people that compete, when you compete in business, is as a result of the fact that you don't know your value. And that's why there's something we call UVP, unique value proposition. That is something that will definitely make you outstanding. There are a lot of tech people out there right now. I run a tech, but I have about 3 other businesses, even 3 to 4 other businesses now. And you see, the fact that you have a business is not a limitation for you to start another business. Study. Bishop TDJs have about 16 different businesses. He's a pastor. 16 different businesses. And you are having just one business, this is not for me. That's not how we take over the kingdom. You see, the children of darkness, just as the scripture, they are wise. Many of us will start a business, will not market it, will not advertise it. That's not this thing, just one corner business. It's not going to take us anywhere. That's why we'll just gather and talk, pray. You see now, people like Dangote can speak. I follow Dangote, I love him very well. Femi Otedola, I read their books and all that. You see, when he's starting his oil business, he and the driver is the first. They'll buy the oil. How did they even discover the business? I don't know if anybody has read that his book. I've read it. I see how the book is done. We don't even have anybody. Do we have any entrepreneur in the house? God will give us understanding. How did he discover his business? I think there was a scarcity of oil, tissue, and all of that. So they used to ask for supply, and when after so many times of they paid, the supply is not coming. So the day they brought the supply, so I think the truck that brought the supply litter everywhere in the compound. I said, why is this thing so messy like this and all of that? I said, I can make these things better. A lot of the time, we don't even need to start a new business. We need to improve an existing business. Think about Apple. How's this? iPhone 17 Pro Max now should be around 3-4 million. Original one. There are fake ones of 2 million downward and all of that. 3-4 million and thereabouts. What are they doing that is even? And everybody is dying to buy it and not. What's it? It's because of the quality. If you've ever tried Benz before, you will know that there are cars. God will give us understanding. Sometimes we need to improve an existing. Sometimes it might be just because you are buying something from somebody and you don't like the pattern, you don't have option. You can take your time and study. So, the 3 questions of everything, I said, God will help me to stay through my slides because I'm already digressing a lot. So, what is your pain? What's the pain that you are solving with your products? How much does it cost to ignore it? Think about it. Let's say I'm selling a bandage, for example. Let's say somebody scratched his or her body and the bandage is, and he came to the pharmacy and asked, how much is the bandage? And I said, 10,000. The person might not buy. Say, how it still cost? He begin to price. But wait for somebody who had an accident and maybe half of the hand is gone. They will not ask for the price of the bandage. They say, do you have bandage? They won't even ask. Do you understand? Make sure that your product or services is do what? Is solving a pain. And let the type of pain is solving be. God will give us understanding. So, why are you the right solution? When you want to craft a unique value proposition, you call it UVP, you must understand these things. I was in a class, the day before yesterday, I was training people who are selling rates. I said, don't worry about your price. Your price is not the problem here. If you understand the value, because you can have a landed property that is being sold for 2 million here. Let's say this is their boundary, and your home boundary is here, and you are selling your home for 10 million. Now, if you have the right information and you know what makes you unique, maybe you help your client through the documentation process, there's a higher tendency that these people who are selling for 2 million, their properties within government acquisition, and your own that is 10 million, you understand that very well, that sooner or later this place will be right up and this becomes a hot cake. So if you understand what makes you unique in business, you will stop competing. So that's the 3 questions every sales individual must have. Then there's what we call the sales funnel process. You must understand your offer. Why should, that's the interest. Why must they buy now? Then the action is the close. The 4th one is the retention. How do you keep them? How do you keep them? I was discussing with my colleague here. We came together. He also runs multiple businesses like that. That I have a client, he can go for 2 years. He will just chat me at any time. And that has been how some of them like that. How do you keep them? So it is not the amount of profit you make now that really matter, but over time. So structure and all these things are very important. You have to create an awareness. How do you find your clients? Instead of being in the church to pray, go out there. If you are a plumber, you are an electrician, go to news site, go put your, I see some of them putting their numbers there, and some of them has been really getting some. But don't just be in the 4 walls of the church, keep praying without markets. So, and right now, I mentioned one way which you can do what? Reach out to our audience. That make sure that you have a way of interacting with everybody you meet on a daily basis. The second one is through social media. That one can help you to go faster than anything. One of the reasons why many people don't do business is, how will I get customer? I've seen that question. Just make sure that you have a value. and you know that people are in need of this value, or you are solving a problem, make sure that this problem, people are facing it. I said that what I do now is not just building a system. If you are booking my consultation now, you pay. I studied the trend. I discovered that most of the students that I've trained, some of them are entrepreneurs, some of them are build houses, and when they have an issue, they will call me. Hey, I'm having this issue. Sometimes I just say, do this and that's it. And say, I was on the phone, on Thursday or on Wednesday with a woman. She sells real estate property in Abuja. So it was a 30-minute conversation. And what I do was I help them to hold this, because that's the first thing. You see, when the structure of a building is wrong, there is no way you can build on that foundation. You first need to understand, okay, what do you have right now? So we access everything, then I will do a framework. There is software I use for that. It has AI agents. I'm almost exhausted my time. Thank you, sir. So, thank you. So, I'll help them to, and with AI, everything will run, and I'll come up with a report. If I'm giving you that 50K, 100K, that's what I do for them. Now, from the recommendation. So, when she was going through the recommendations, she called me around 10 p.m. yesterday, and because it's very close to me, she can call me anytime. So, she called me around 10 p.m. yesterday and said, oh, this recommendation, you are the one, she returned part of it, said, you are going to pay for this. So, I'm building this is a software now, I'm going to build for. But I said, now, instead of you paying, you have an in-house developer. Why can't he build it? I said, okay, she's going to get back to me on that. So sometimes giving people idea is money. If you understand this, I've learned from people, and I know what people charge when it comes to public speaking and helping people like this. There are people that charge $1 million for 2 hours teaching, and more like that. There are people who are talented with that. You can just professionalize it and start making money from it. Many people are gifted in writing. I've been writing more than 10 years. None of my book is out. As I speak now, I have 2 books that's out. And I'm hoping before the end of the year, 2 will still be out. I think I bought, in our last anniversary, I bought a few of my books and all of that. So, how do we retain them? So pitch your value. I'm going to rush because of our time. You move from the feature that you have to the benefit that the person that is buying it. Because people want to buy because of benefit. They don't want to buy because of your feature. They want to buy because of your benefit. What is the benefit that they are going to have if they are using your product and services? So, and the features, I'm going to share these slides in the church platform so that many of us can also go through it, use it to readjust our services, whatever thing that we are doing. So I talk about unique value proposition. I've talked about that define your market position. Competition in business is a result of lack of understanding of a unique value proposition. So this is how to craft a unique value proposition. I'm going to give us, I don't know if any one of us are using, I'm sure many of us are aware, we are using AI now. So I'm going to give us an AI prompt. It's not here, but I'm going to send it as well, that we can use to craft our unique value proposition in as much as, at least for whatever thing we are doing. It's an AI prompt. You are going to use ChatGPT for that. ChatGPT will ask you questions pertaining to what you do. If you are not on the church platform, please, can I see your hand up? Are you in the business? Make sure that you are added to the church platform. So we do that. So you use it. ChatGPT is going to ask you questions pertaining to what you do part time. Answer the questions. It will help you to draft a unique value proposition that will make you unique in the market. So the second one is, of course, building structure. Building structure. Daddy said something. He said, a church that doesn't have a land have not do what? Landed. I listen to it. You know what he's saying? It's coming from a depth of knowledge. Structure is very important, because if you have a lot of sales and you don't have a lot of people who can put things together, you begin to lose customers. So if you are starting a business, do your sales registration, do all those things. They are very, very important. Financial structure. Another thing is, most small scale business, they don't understand their number, and that's the beginning. When you don't understand your number, you don't know when to scale up. You don't know. You must know your number. How much is it going to the recurring expenditure? When do you need to get a new office? When do you need to scale? When do you need to improve? When do you need to hire staff? When do you need to get people to assist you with some of the basic things? God will give us understanding in the name of Jesus. Then, for some of us who are about to start business, there's what we call the MVP approach. A lot of the time when I talk to people and I have to, they say they want to start, one of the things I said, even if you have somebody who want to give you a capital, a huge capital to start, don't do that. Don't borrow to start a business. It's wrong. You can borrow to scale a business if you already understand how the business works. Don't borrow to start. What you need to do is do the MVP structure. Start small. Scale fast. God will give us a better understanding in the name of Jesus. So I'm not able to finish my slides. So I'm going to send the slides to the group. It's self-explanatory. We can use it. So I don't know if you have questions. I think I've almost more exhausted my time. One or two questions. If you have questions pertaining to entrepreneur or pertaining to a business you are going through, I can answer that. Or you're about to start a business. I have. There's a mic here, sir. Yes, sir. Hallelujah.
This one is where you start. Who's going to start a business? What the business that maybe develop for girls as products and wants to start and
Of course, you can do that. It's easy. If you can't sell the product, you turn his product. When you don't have a binding agreement that you must pay, it's easy. It's easy. If you can't sell the product, you return his product. That's not boring. Another question?
Praise God.
Hallelujah.
Thank you very much for the lecture. Now, as regards starting small, from my own personal experience, I want to use this illustration so that you understand my context. There's a woman at Aguilera, you are very familiar with Aguilera. She sells food, and the likes. All of a sudden, sports came. And no part to sell that business because she was not able to compete with sports.
Because of what?
She was not able to compete. She was the first person. I'm forgetting her name, but she was very good. So when her sports came, she struggled, until she had to go split. Now, my dedication about starting small is this: that starting small and knowing that you have a repetition, it goes on.
Praise the Lord. I said something, I said start small and scale forward fast. You see, if you understand what makes you unique, when you are starting small, you will know that you are long overdue for that your current position. When the place we are using for our tech training, I don't do, okay, as we speak now, I could not do paid advert billboards. Do you know why? Because where we are using is small, we cannot even accommodate a lot of people again until we get another place that will attach to it. So it is easy if you are starting small to know when it's time for you to scale, because you will discover that either you are having a lot of people to attend to, or where you are using, depending on the type of business, or where you are using is not enough for the number of crowd that comes. So at that stage, you need to scale. Sometimes scaling is not about changing your location. That's another problem a lot of people make. It's about getting a bigger space that is not far away. Because if you know your audience, and your audience is within that axis, If you move to a bigger place and it's far, you will lose your customer. You lose your customer. So you will know. There's no way. That's why we need to keep learning. There's no way you will not know that it's time for me to scale.
Thank you so much for your time. I have this question. I think the thing is all common now for business owners. How can someone navigate from past situation in business in the present state? What is training?
Training.
My question is very good to what he actually asked. Because from my own personal experience, it can be a business that we do practice and really here, some things that's it. New idea. So also then we can go to this and something is very easy. And the very the graphics
designer.
So by talking, so he told me, he said,
AI.
I said, what that? Now said, this thing of AI.
Yeah.
And he's an educated person. Even when he can handle and even navigate inside that area, he knows a lot. But a lot of
Says.
Say, some people come and drive their car glass, their so and so. What for them? But it's supposed to be like them, most of them, they are not doing work. They now sometimes, most of them, they now send part of their work to me. So now, this is
AI.
Even the gravity, very bold. He said, I show my people. Sorry. Wow, that's great. Say, it's on his own. Say, challenge your mind. Say, God will give you understanding. So, different ways, different sectors, which was going on. So, how can someone keep walking? What is changing now?
Praise the Lord. I can relate with that because I'm a graphic designer. So I understand very well. The thing is this. Studying the tech world, every 3 to 4 years, things change. There's always a new innovation. And a lot of the time, the innovation is going to wipe away almost all the existing if you don't know how to adapt and change fast. The problem is having this learning. I told you, I started as a tech person. I'm also a tech person. I have softwares of clients that I'm building right now. But it's not the usual way that a lot of people build. Oh, I'll give you CRM, I'll give you POS, point of sales, I'll build a website for you. Yes, we can still send that out occasionally, but the way I do my own thing now, I'm going to tell you now, is I will analyze it. I will look at your problem. I will look at your system. What is wrong here? Then I will use my own tech knowledge to come up with an idea of a solution that can solve that problem. You see that your friend that is a graphic designer is too attached to the graphic designer. I don't design again. The only time you can see me design, maybe I just want to put one quote from one of my books. I just put any graphic design I have a lady that, and I told the lady that this thing you are doing is AI is taking your job, is redefining a lot of things. But a lot of people will see AI as a threat now because they are not improving. That's the problem is having learning. I have a similar issue. Pray. But there are a lot of things you need to do. Tell the person to go. You see all these car dealers and all of that. He can think and say, okay, how can I use my knowledge, learn some few more things, and render services to them? Okay, let me give you an example. I used to design for one of my friends, he runs a real estate company before when he started. He will give me 2 plots of land at the end of the year. So the first year, the second year, the third year, I discovered that this thing is choking me. It's choking me. What am I going to do? I said, you know what? From now on, let's do cash and carry. You need the job, I'll do it for you. Give me my cash. So after some time, we worked for maybe a year or thereabouts. We couldn't work again. So he discovered that what I'm taking from him is too much, because maybe a landed property worth 2 million at the end of the year. Now calculate the cost of him to hire his staff and give him 50,000 at the end of the year. How much is that? Less than 2 million naira. And he can't see me all the time. He can always see his guy all the time. So the AI thing is not, it's not only his feed, it's every feed. The hairdresser, the people who are in the hairdresser industry, before, it is all this plating. Now everybody is using wig now. They just buy 2 or 3 wigs, they just be touching it, washing it, that's it for the end of the year. Learn again. The learn is the ability to relearn. God bless you, sir. I think you can just advise your friend to do that. Any other question? There's one here, sir.
So,
Hi.
my question is, you have to start a business. This is about whatever you can do.
Is the capital.
Yes. And another thing, really
Location.
It's very important.
Okay.
Like, you don't know anywhere.
Okay.
Just want to base, maybe travel to maybe Lagos. You don't know anywhere in Lagos. People about the location.
Internet has solved the problem of location. Sell online. But you see, there's something that you need to do when it comes to selling online. Make sure that you put all the things in place. You do your CAC registration, you have a company account, then you can use your house as an address. All of my clients, I build for most of the people who are in the UKs and all of that. Most of my clients, when I'm still fully in website design, I still design website now, but it's not just I'm only a web designer and this now. My own is more of consulting now. So it's my skill, my initial skill will be useful along the line. Now, if you want to become an expert, learn how to communicate. Very, very important. Learn how to communicate. Your skill, your talent will be useful along the line. You know, I mentioned about a woman now that I do consulting for. She paid for my consulting, and she needed my services again. She's going to pay for that. So that you can learn about digital marketing first. If you don't have money, go to YouTube. You know, now somebody was chatting me, said, what can he do? I said, see, you can't afford my training now, because our tech training now, 6 months training is 1 million naira. A lot of people will not be able to afford that. Don't waste my time. Go to YouTube and go and learn. There are a lot of things. Yes, YouTube will take a longer time. You might not have a track record of experience, but you still learn. So that aspect, sir, go and learn digital marketing. Go to YouTube. There are videos on YouTube that can teach you how to sell online if you can't afford to go for any trade. But if you want to go faster, go and learn from somebody who is doing it. That one is settled. Now, the issue of capital. No, see, capital, like I've mentioned that, maybe you are not listening. Capital is not actually the first thing when you are starting a business. Sometimes it's the problem you are solving. Sometimes it's not about the capital. It's about the mind. It's about how we can think. And a lot of the time, when you know the process of which people can get your product or services is a bit complicated, offer education. Go to Facebook, give them free education. Educate them. They will come back to you. When you begin to educate people see you as mentor they can follow. I teach people most of the people I say, see, it's a global market cap, the 3%, the 17, the 20, and the 60. The 3% are the hungry buyer. They are the people that will buy immediately. So, and that 3% is what everybody who is struggling to sell is bidding for. Where are the 17, 20% that has the higher cap market? They are gathering information. Everybody is not stupid. If you give them the price, they will check 10, 15 people of the same. What makes you unique? That's where what makes you unique comes in. Some will even tell you that I've gotten another person that is cheaper than you. That's where you need to tell them your own unique value proposition. God will give us understanding. Sometimes the capital, to answer your question, the capital, if what you want to do is something that has to do with education, educate people. If you're a plumber, if you are into anything, you want to start selling, you can start. There's one of my students, he didn't attend this church again, Oladipopo. When he was about to start, when he finished his NYC, he was just, I didn't call him, but I called him, maybe he might probably be here or maybe somewhere outside Ibadan. Now, when he finished his NYC, he was a member of his in that Luther day. He was a photographer. Now, he came to me and said, you want to go into solar renewable? And I said, go into it. He said, at the moment, just go and find the training. When he finished the training, he said, capital. He said, he wants to say, where is capital? So go and start posting it on social media. That's how he started. He started getting jobs. So he said, later I came to say, he wants to build a website. He built the website. He paid me 150,000 thereabout for his website. He's a member of this, he left his church. He didn't start with the capital. Now, as we are talking now, he has rented an office in Ogbomoso, 800,000 naira from no capital. So capital is not really the issue. The issue is our mind, how we think is really the issue. As I'm talking to you now, before he even rent the office, he shared his journey with me. I saw that he opened a business, charging station in Akwe. Around 4 million naira was spent on that business. What are we now saying? We are breathing the same air, the same weather, the same sunlight. So it's not about the capital, it's about our mindset now with that thing. And sometimes also our association matters. People will move with, people will discuss with. God will give us to understand. If you keep on discussing this thing from now to Kingdom Talk, from now to evening, we'll still be asking questions. I'll share some of the things that I've also seen. But the truth is, let's be committed to learning. Get books. There are books about entrepreneur. But our generation doesn't read again. Only God will help us. God will give us with understanding. I think I've answered your question, sir.
Felix Odukanmi is a dynamic business coach, entrepreneur, and digital marketer with a proven track record of helping individuals and organizations build thriving businesses in today's digital world. He is also the author of several business books written to help you avoid common pitfalls and build businesses that last. Whether you're just starting out or ready to scale, you are in the right place to gain the insights, strategies, and mentorship you need for real business success. To learn more or connect with Felix, visit felixodukanmi.com or connect on all social media at Felix Odukanmi.